Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We have a Juneteenth edition video today. We're going to be reviewing this beef that's going on between the Asian and African American community, which is crazy to me because it seems like the Asian community has forgotten their history. So we're going to be covering O'Shea Du Jackson video. Shout out to him. And let's just jump right into it.
Every single one of you failing in life, and then you want to blame everybody else.
After a week of testimony and roughly 8 hours of deliberation, Mr. Rick Chow was found not guilty of the murder of Cyrus Carmack Belton. Ever since that time, there's been a lot of talk on the internet, especially the Black community nationwide, with its respect to doing business with Asian-owned stores.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm serious about this. I'm not spending another damn dime.
Now, there have been a lot of Asians supporting Black people at this time online. And I do want to preface that because I've seen it and seen so many videos, more positive ones than negative. But the negative ones always stand out.
I love when the Black community says, let's boycott Asian businesses. Please do. We'll get rid of the Chinese takeout.
Wait just 1 second. One thing that I never understood with that whole unfortunate event with that young Black man, not young Black boy, because I gotta stop calling these children young women and young men. These are children that are affected by these things. That young boy who was murdered unjustly because they thought he was stealing. Like, where did this psychology of thinking that Black people is coming into y'all business stealing from y'all? Like, where did that start? Why is that a thing? Like, did y'all get that from Europeans? Because who told y'all that we stealing from y'all? Y'all come, I won't say y'all because it's not all Asians. Just like O'Shea just said, a lot of Asians are supporting the Black community. So I won't say all. But the ones who do believe that Black people come to try to steal and do things like that, why do you think that? And if you think that, why are you putting your businesses in our communities? Why are you there? Why are you around people that you don't like? Is it because you can't go around the people that you do like? But no, like, for real, like, why are you even there? Don't be around the thieves then, since we steal. Put your corner stores, your beauty supplies in the white neighborhood. Oh, you can't. That's why. Oh, okay.
Dry cleaners, the laundromats. Let's get rid of the liquor stores as well. Get rid of the Jordans you guys wear, the Nikes you wear, the shower caps, the Hondas, the Hyundais, all your car electricians, the electronics in your house, the Sony, the TV system, your sound system, the microphones that you guys use to rap and speak about awareness for the Black culture and the hip hop culture. Where do you think that's made in? That's made all in Asia.
Now, this is the person that went the most viral. And from what I understand, he actually took down his TikTok account. He said some things that really struck a chord with me. Number one, Asian people, even Asian Americans, are not really so open with their feelings in comparisons to Blacks. But here he's letting you know, you guys, in my honest opinion, don't have any leverage. You don't have anything. Everything you're boycotting, we make. And your people are not united. So therefore, go ahead and boycott if you want. In fact, we don't even live by y'all. We have.
Hold up, because, people can say that Black people are not united when it comes to things, but the one thing that I've always seen Black people unite on, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but when it comes to being petty, the unification is there. Like, don't play with Black people. Don't play with them. Don't play with their money. Like, I don't know. You might can play with you can't even play with their rights. Like, Black people come together when it really, really matters. I mean, so many Black people still don't even shop at Target just out of spite. So don't play with Black people. Don't act like we don't come together, because we do, and we will, especially just to prove a point. Not just to prove a point, we will.
Have our own Chinatowns. and you don't got nothing.
Damn.
But then,
when they killed George Floyd, did you stop going to white businesses? Did you stop shopping at IKEA? Did you stop eating Haagen-Dazs? Did you stop posting to Pinterest?
the people didn't have any real sympathy for Mr. Carmack Cyrus Belton or his family. It was basically just apples and oranges. You didn't stop doing business with other groups of people, so why do you feel that way about us? But this unknown lady who is trending all over Black social media right now just really told how she felt.
You see this whole Cyrus case and Mr. Chow? None of this would have happened if you motherfuckers raised your kids right.
But wait, there's more.
That little boy witnessed some of his business trying to steal water, okay? Now, I might not agree with Mr. Chow chasing the boy and shooting him in Timbuktu, okay, wherever the he was. But here's the crazy part. If you had disciplined your boy right, he wouldn't be in someone's store trying to steal a 50-cent bottle of water in the first place, okay?
Let's address this whole idea of your kids are not being raised correctly. Now, it is true that the Black community, in my honest opinion, we have a horrible problem with the rearing of children with.
O'Shea, I'm gonna have to stop you right there because I don't make me have to pull up some statistics. Hold on, because I need to know now. Because whose children commits more crimes? Whose children commits more heinous crimes? And we're talking about the rearing of children. Asian people might be the only ones to be able to talk because about their kids, about the only ones in America at least. Because over in Asia they be tripping, but in America, yeah, we can say like, okay, yeah, they're not committing many crimes. But as far as whose children needs better discipline, please don't piss me off. Don't do it, O'Shea, because no. Yes, Black people do need to think about how we discipline our children and the rearing of our children. But if we're going to talk about which race of children has more disciplinary criminal issues, do I need to say it? Like, stop playing with me.
Fragmented parents, and that is obviously the case. But it is not the case that we're talking about right now. The first mistake that she makes is assuming that Mr. Carmack Cyrus Belton was trying to steal water. Was he? When Cyrus Carmack Belton walked into that store on May 28, 2023, he had a backpack, but he was forced to give his backpack to the convenience store. And that's what he did. He literally left his backpack at the front counter when he walked in. He went and picked up 4 bottles of water from a cooler, but he put them all back before walking back to the front of the store to retrieve his bag. Now, despite having returned the items, he was falsely accused of shoplifting by the store owner and his son. Now, I thought that was pretty interesting for this lady to want the Black community to take accountability when she can't take the accountability for the fact that the owner in the situation and his son clearly couldn't see that this young man was not stealing. Now, Rick Chow is 61 at this time, but his son is much younger. And what we see here is because Cyrus Carmack Belton was Black, they automatically assumed that he was stealing, even though he was not. And even though this lady right now is ranting emotionally, she leaves this fact out.
And that's what's so frustrating about listening to this lady, because she really like, I just, being racist is a mental illness. It really is. And people who are racist and have all of these prejudice and believe these things about people without any evidence, they need help. Like, you're not safe to be out here in society, Miss Ma'am. Like, you're not safe to be driving a car. Like, the way she talked made me feel like if a Black boy or girl is crossing the street, she'll press the gas. Like, it's not safe to have these kind of people around and to talk about what another community is doing with their children without like O'Shea said, taking accountability for your own community is wild. If anyone, did she even watch the video? Did she even follow the court case? Because you can clearly see that the boy put the waters back. So no one stole anything. His life being taken is not justifiable in any kind of way, period. Even if he did steal the water, it's water. 50 cents, 4 bottles of water, that's $2. You take a boy life over $2. No, baby, that's hatred in your heart that has stolen your rational thinking, because ain't no way that that makes sense in a logical mind, that a healthy, healed mind, that it's okay to murder someone over $2. And she making this big girl, you just embarrass yourself. Do you know that everything lives forever on the internet? And you want to know something? Let us take a moment to talk about the history of Asian and Black people real quick. Most people don't know this story, but Black and Asian Americans have a long history of supporting each other. So let's talk about it. So in the 1870s, when Chinese immigrants faced brutal exclusion laws, Frederick Douglass spoke out in their defense, arguing that denying Chinese people rights was the same logic used to justify slavery. That's one of the earliest recorded moments of Black leaders publicly defending Asian immigrants. Now, fast forward to the 1960s. Yuri Kochiyama, a Japanese American activist who survived internment camps, became close friends with Malcolm X and was right beside him the day that he was assassinated. She spent her life fighting for Black liberation alongside her community rights. Both communities faced exclusion laws, redlining, and violence. And at key moments, leaders on both sides recognized that their fights were connected, even when the broader public tried to pit them against each other. The healed mind takeaway: solidarity isn't about ignoring differences. It's about recognizing a shared enemy. It's about recognizing systems that benefit when marginalized groups fight each other instead of fighting the root problem. So, as you all can see, Asian and African Americans have a long history together that is intertwined in us both seeking justice for each other and rights for each other in a country that dehumanized both of us. Maybe not on the same levels, but in the same kind of ways. And so for us to be going against each other right now, or rather for the Asian community, for these two people, like this woman and that man that went viral, to be forgetting that we always have worked together, but allowing for racism, which is a mental illness, and the dare I say the white people of this country to put us against each other. Because this is something I've always noticed, that a lot of different races, not really Black people, but like Hispanic people, Asian people, they try to pander to white people in a kind of way where it's like, are y'all trying to be white? Because you can't be white. Like, remember your history. Remember that the white people that you're pandering to today, their ancestors did not even like you. So I'm not saying that the present day ones don't like you, but I'm just saying historically it's proven that you're a marginalized group just like Black people, and you face disparities just like Black people, and you're really no different. But because your skin is lighter, I guess you try to associate yourself with that other side. But you need to take a second and do a little history lesson and remember the people who fought beside my ancestors, and understand that you being against us right now, it literally don't make no sense, and it's not going to do anything good for your community. Because you want to bet Black people won't step up for each other? We petty as hell. You done lost your mind. Okay, back to the video.
Which is important because her bias against blacks is the same that we're seeing with Mr. Rick Chow and his son.
Your people. There are 7 Black jurors who found your kid responsible, making Mr. Chow, okay, not guilty, because they understand your culture.
Now, the point that's being made here is that there were several jurors on the case that was black. Now, Richland County is like 50% black, and there could have been between 5 to 7 jurors on the case. She's saying that the jurors found him not guilty because of the problematic black culture that we have. Now, if this is the case, then it needs to be retried again because of personal bias from the jurors. What the jury looked at was the evidence presented by the defense and the prosecution made the error of not trying to get a manslaughter charge for Mr. Rickchild. They went all or nothing, and that loop is there in South Carolina. In most other states, if they can't get you on murder, they may come back to negotiate and you receive manslaughter. This is exactly what happened with Soon Da Ju and Latasha Harlins in 1981. I believe they either negotiated this deal and she was eventually tried on manslaughter. But that's not what happened in South Carolina. What she's trying to do is to put the so-called trash black culture on trial here when it wasn't the black community on trial. It was Mr. Rickchild on trial for the killing of Cyrus Carmack.
Wait, I don't know why I feel like I did not know that man was found not guilty. See, and this is what encourages the Asian people to think that they have a place with white people. When the justice system continues to work like this against black people and not protect or give us justice, but say it was flipped around. Say it was a black-owned store and they thought that an Asian person was stealing, and the owner of the store murdered the young boy because he thought he was stealing some water. Can you imagine how the country would react to that? That is so crazy to me. He was found not guilty and didn't get no charges. That's disgusting. I don't even have a word for it. That's terrible. My condolences to his family, because I can't even imagine how they felt when that happened. Like, what? Scot free? A black life is worth what? Nothing to y'all? Still in 2026. That's why I say I'm not in America. Baby, my brother is in jail right now. I don't like nothing about the way that the American justice system works. I think it's highly corrupt. I think it serves no justice. It works off of outdated laws that need to no longer apply to the current times. There's no logic in the system. If someone commits a crime, they need a payment. I don't care about the legal loopholes because they didn't try for manslaughter. Now he gets to go away for he killed somebody. There's no consequence. Brother.
Elton, and he won fair and square because of her own personal bias. This is what she's saying. And then
your mentality. You failed your kid. Your society failed your kid. Your mentality failed your kid. That niggerism fucking attitude failed your kid. Now, if you can't reflect on that, and if you can't understand and take accountability for your failure, this will continue. More black kids are gonna die. Your community is still gonna struggle, and your people will continue to be in poverty.
She takes the opportunity to get away from Rickchild and address the black community as we see it. Now, I will say that I typically listen to criticisms from other people of the black community, and I want to see if it matches up to mine. And to be honest, if she was not Asian and we heard her ranting, and if we heard a black person ranting, if we were talking about this offline, many of us have these same conversations. We got to be honest. What we do not like to hear is that other people speak these things about us, especially in times where, the emotions are high. We feel like we've been neglected as a community. We feel slighted as a community. However, this is how a lot of people look at the black community. And this is how a lot of people see us. And the reality is, when you talk to black people about this narrative, many folks say, well, hey, I don't care. It don't matter to me. Well, in a way, it does matter, especially if you need to work at these places with people who secretly feel like this. For an example, I look at a lot of channels, especially during this economic downturn, people losing their jobs. I'm going to tell you why this is important, because we all know about what's going on with the unemployment rate. I want you to look at the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Last month in May, look at the unemployment. For whites, 3.8%, Asian, 3.8%. The national average was 4.3%. Hispanics were at 5%. Black African American at 6.6%. Now, you can care about this or not, but when you need to be employed by the dominant society, and if this is how they feel about us, then that must mean, to a certain degree, whether we want to accept it or not, that that's a problem. And
See, my thing about this is this type of stuff is systemic. We understand what that means. That means that it is due to the way that the systems are put in place. Everyone wants Black people to acknowledge our issues as a community. Everyone wants us to find a solution, but the issues, bro, I gotta calm down. Cause I'm not mad. I'm just like, this is still something that we dealing with after hundreds of years. Slavery, the effects of slavery has not been talked about enough for me. You want people who were in 400 years of chattel slavery to know how to conduct themselves as a community, a cohesive, productive, healed community. When the country that they live in wants to take the fact that they was even in chattel slavery out of the schools so that the newer generations don't even know what an entire part of their country had to go through and how it was built. And now we're the most unemployed demographic in America. Why do you think that is? Our children are constantly murdered due to preconceived prejudice. Why do you think that is? It's because of slavery. Oh, but slavery happened so long ago. Slavery is over. Da, da, da. Bro, do people say this to the Jewish people? They be like, well, the Holocaust was so long ago. Why are you still talking about it? Like, it was so long ago. Like, those people, it's already over. No one says that about the Holocaust, and it didn't last a fraction of the time that chattel. Do y'all know what chattel slavery is? This is not your average, oh, you work in my house, you're my slave, you do free labor. This is dehumanizing, cannibalistic, disgusting behavior for 4 centuries. And then the generations that were birthed after that had nothing. They had no generational wealth. They had no education. They had to learn how to read. They had to get it out the mud in a country that hated them, constantly being hunted down, constantly being set on fire every single time that they got a chance to try to liberate themselves, bombs being dropped on them, literally. And you want to say that Black people need to figure out a solution. We need to figure out what's wrong with this country, why we don't know how to function in it. Maybe because we're not from it. Maybe because we were never meant to be here. Maybe because this is not our country. We were slaves here. This place was never designed for us. It was made for British people who wanted to escape the British whatever empire, and so they came over here and they, that it was for them. And somehow Black people are the reason, we're the reason for our own problems. Is crazy to me. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a level of accountability, but I am also saying, because it could be two things at one time, I am also saying that there is a cause for this. And all of this stuff is just the effects. So it's kind of like, You want me to solve a problem that someone else created. Okay, yeah, I can try to sit down and figure out how to solve that problem. But since I didn't create it, you must know that it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me. O'Shea, you better not be pandering. Don't play with me. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yes, it's things that Black people have to acknowledge. Yes, there is accountability that needs to take place because now, as a whole, many of us know at the very least right from wrong. Many of us can read. Many of us are educated enough and aware enough to be able to make better decisions. But the damage that was done to our DNA, please act like we know about epigenetics in here. Please let us act like we know. The damage that was done to our DNA, the way that our generations were not set up for any kind of wealth, we are at a bit of a disadvantage. And now the question would be, what do we do about that? How do we rectify the effects of slavery? Because that is what we're dealing with. That's why Black people are the most unemployed in America. It has nothing to do, we're not lazy. Every Black person I know is very hardworking. We're not lazy. We're not stupid. So obviously it's the systems and it's the country, right? Y'all, like I've been saying this to me, don't piss me off.
The only way you could not necessarily care is if you want to solve the unemployment rate in your own community by owning your own businesses. And a lot of people in the Hispanic communities, in the Asian communities, own their own businesses. So when hiring managers, recruiters see people who are Black, secretly they feel like this, but ultimately this is why a lot of talented Blacks get passed over for opportunities. And if people feel this way about your community, and if there's any truth to it, it's something that should be addressed. Even if you do not like it, even if it hurts, it's something that we should consider. And then,
no one's gonna give you a handout. Stop asking for a handout. Stop thinking you're gonna make bank off your kid's death, okay? What you need to do is self-reflect on your people, your culture, your community, and stop blaming everybody else. Let me tell you, boycotting the Asian community, they're probably thanking God that your Black don't go into their store anymore to cause a muck.
now this is interesting. No one will give you a handout. You need to self-reflect and look at what you do. That's crazy to say when you've benefited from what Black Americans did in the country with civil rights, and you're talking about not getting handouts. Largely, that was one of the biggest handouts that you guys ever got. But let's deal with the whole idea of self-reflection. Because while I don't like what she's trying to say and the framing she's using, yes, we do need to look at self-reflection a lot. And many times when other groups are talking about us as a community, there is a lot of painful truth in that. And it sucks. For example, I live here in Uganda. And I love Uganda and I love being here. But I've heard several criticisms from other people who may feel a certain way from Ugandans, where it's online or you might sometimes hear it in person. You might hear it from Indians. You may hear from whites. You may hear from other groups. But ultimately, if you come to a certain situation where a lot of people are saying similar things about you, then it does have some proof to it. And what happens is in the Black community, we tend to be sensitive to what other people say about us, but at the same time, we'd like to hold other people accountable for what they do to us. And largely, we let people get away with a lot of murder in the Black community, from politicians to Black pastors to Pookies and Ray Rays. And so when that happens and that's defended, it largely loses us a lot of respect, especially with other people in the community. Even when you get somebody like this who absolutely has nothing what they're talking about, they have the ability in their minds to attack us from the outside to talk about the holes and flaws in our own community. But I do think that we ought to listen to these holes and flaws in our community. And the reason why is because most of us say the same damn thing that she's saying. Now,
The Black people I know ain't talking like that. We are very solution based. We are trying to figure out how we can implement programs into the community, education into community. some type of wherewithal so people can be able to provide for themselves better. No one is talking this aggressively and just ignorantly about the situation of what's going on with Black people, but non-Black people. Oh, Shay, I like your videos. Don't play with me. That's not what's going on. Like, Black people are very aware of their community, but we're not degrading ourselves and we're not talking down and bashing ourselves unless you have some type of like self-hatred against like an Uncle Ruckus type mindset. There is a lot of things that can be done in the Black communities, yes, but people act like what we do is different from what's done in any community. Why is everything that Black people do so highlighted? Like, why are y'all so obsessed with us and everything that we do? We've been a case study since we were dragged kicking and screaming to this country. Like, what in the world is going on with the obsession with Black people? Like, y'all are so obsessed with all of our problems, but you give us no solution. So you should maybe stop talking about it then. And we should maybe be the only ones talking about our problems. Because what if I made it my life's mission, which I would never do because I don't have hatred in my heart and I don't have any type of disdain for any race of people? Because, first of all, you can't even choose what race you are, you're just born that way. But what if I made videos nonstop talking about how Asian people abuse their children? They don't say they love them. They normalize raising cold-hearted, ignorant people who don't know how to associate emotion with logic, and they just walk around this world thinking that they're better than other people. And why is that? Or what if I made videos about white people and how they raise serial killers and children who think that it's okay to shoot up schools? Then what will we do? What if I said they need to focus on fixing those issues in their community and I just made that what everything I talked about? Like, make it make sense. Every community of people has their own prejudices that other people think about, has their own issues that they themselves know about. And how does this help anything? How does continuing to perpetuate these things help? How does holding this kind of hatred in your heart help? Like, it doesn't help anyone. Like, where are the solutions, Miss Ma'am, while you're doing all of this yelling, hooping, and hollering? Like, what do you suggest that Black people do then? Like, you just saying that we have all of these issues, but what do you suggest that we do? Given our history here in America, given everything that happened to our ancestors that led us to this point, what do you suggest that we do? What would be the best options for Black people to help make their communities better? Because every time that we've tried to make our communities better, we've been murdered for it. So I want to know, how do you think psychologically and epigenetically, how that affects a group of people? Like, what do you suggest? I would love to know what the right answer to these problems are, to these issues, because I think that Black people are very aware of their issues. And if we had the right answers, I think that we would implement them, because throughout history, whenever we did get the right answer, we did try to implement it. And we're fought. The government fought against us every single time. So I think that this has worked a lot like how slavery worked, where they just kind of beat it out of you. Like, is your name Toby? Beat you, beat you, beat you to your name Toby. Like, as many times as Black people have tried to fix our issues and build ourselves up, now it's come to the point where maybe no one really wants to take the brunt no more. Maybe no one wants to be that leader for Black people because of what it could require. Your life. It could require your life, because that's what history has taught us. It could require you being followed by the government. It could require for you no longer being safe because you want to help Black people. Get get a clue. Get a clue. Get a clue and grow up for real.
Publicly, as a pro-Black, we're not gonna let her talk about us like that, because she ain't got no business talking about us like that, right? And I'm with you I'm with you 100% that anybody that's speaking on us publicly, we got to stand on business, and that got to be checked. But secretly, we have to address the way that the world is looking at us and the community is looking at us, and we got to get on our stuff before it is too late. All right? Not everybody who's been talking about this stuff, they've been holding this stuff kind of in, and absolutely we know that people are getting over on blacks and mistreating us and all that kind of stuff, and I get it. But boy, do we have to fix some of these holes so that we can improve as a community and as a people. Number one, by respecting what we got. It took me so long to understand the beautiful community I came from, all the opportunities that I had in the black community that our people fought for. I didn't really know until I got over to Africa and over to Europe. I had to learn the hard way. But if you're in the States, you got the opportunities. There's nothing better in the ecosystem for black people in no place than Black America. Asians don't got that ecosystem. Mexicans don't got it. Nobody got it but you. And you got to take advantage before it's too late. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshadu Jackson back at it again with another episode.
So my takeaway is this: a lot of people seem to still be very clueless about the history of Black people. Like, it's not a matter of not wanting to take responsibility or accountability for where our people are. It's a matter of looking at history and seeing how we've tried to do that many, many times and what has happened because of that. And like I keep saying, epigenetics is a real thing. If you did this to my ancestors, this to my ancestor, it's in my DNA to feel a resistance against wanting to do what they did, because I still in my DNA remember the consequences, if that makes sense. So what's going on with Black people? And this is not shifting the blame. Y'all, why two things can be true at once? This is not shifting the blame. Like, we can be aware that we have these issues, but still understand that the issues are not caused by us. Clearly, come on, y'all. Hip hop, one of the most detrimental things that ever happened to the Black community in the 80s, promoting drug use, promoting gang violence. Who owns those music companies? Jewish and white people. Please, y'all, understand that the things that was done to Black people was systematic. It was systemic. So you are telling Black people essentially to fight against a system that was built to bring them down. I say instead, what Black people should do, which is something that we have done in the past, but we tried to do it in America. See, I suggest we take our butts up out of America and try to build our communities elsewhere. Where elsewhere? I don't know, because America has the whole world hating Black people. It's crazy, but I live in Asia right now and I feel quite safe. I'm quite safe here. So I don't know if the Philippines is an option. I don't know if some other Southeast Asian country or African country or South American country could be an option, because we are pretty much felt the same way about everywhere we go. But America is the worst. Europe is the worst. So I say build outside of the country that hates you, because building within it, trying to fix problems that the laws literally work against you. They can literally murder your children, take your children, and you can't do nothing about it but cry about it. And I'm not trying to be like insensitive. This is just the truth. And so at that point, it's not us versus us or us versus them. It's really us versus the US. The whole country got everybody real confused. Just a bunch of swirls of racism just going around like tornadoes, hitting different communities, Hispanic people, Asian people, and they messing their minds up, making them forget how we're one all in the same. Because trust you, the people at the top don't look like none of us. They ain't got no melanin in their skin at all. They not yellow, brown, dark brown, nothing. So at that point, what is the solution? Y'all let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you watching this video. If you would like to take the time to subscribe, I appreciate you so much. If you want to share this video so we can have this conversation circulating about what is the solution for Black people. What do we really think it is? Let's get that conversation going, and I'll see you in the next video.